Hello and welcome. I'm Lucy from Lucy Macht and I make handmade accessories for pets and people. I've also been recording my journey of starting a small business in Melbourne. This is how it's going. So it is the last full week of January. It's Australia Day this Sunday. It's the last week of holidays before school starts. It's kind of like enjoying these last few moments of bit of wind down sort of time. Although I've started with markets, a lot of the markets have been quite quiet as well. So I think February they'll pick up a lot more. The regular monthly ones will start again as well. This week I had my first sewing session or sewing class for 2025 and I had 3 whole students. I was having one regularly last term, and then one of the last sessions, the last sort of series I did, I had a second student for that. So I had 3 and it was a bit of a struggle, very warm in the studio. I feel like we need to invest in a second aircon unit or like a stronger aircon unit because definitely felt like a sauna. I was sort of coated in sweat. If I was like moving around a lot, I was just glazed with sweat. So kind of like a tough 4 hours for everyone involved, but they got through it. It was kind of like an all ages group as well, which is, I thought it might be a bit awkward, but it actually worked out well. I think she was, I don't know how old she was, maybe like 10, 12, I'm not too sure with younger ages, but I think it was her first time, or she said it was her first time using like actual pattern pieces. So that was a big win for her. And she's definitely one that wants to go like fast and just steam through things. So sort of had to pull my teacher hat on and sort of encourage her to slow down as well, and then encourage her to learn how to use overlocker that she was quite nervous about using. So I think learning those skills and coming away with a hat that has no holes in it, I think that was a win for her. And then I had a girl or a lady from class Bento, which I realized she booked it accidentally because she thought she booked one in her area in Coburg. So she rode her bike all the way to Bentley, and it's like 32 degrees out today, but she was super lovely, very Coburg or Brunswick vibes. Yeah, super patient and didn't seem to mind at all to be in a class with some like very young teens. That worked out as well. She even drafted her own pattern using the bucket hat pattern. She just made some adjustments of her own and drafted a separate pattern piece. So it was good to still have like a smaller number. And then I had my regular Tessa that worked on her gathered skirt because she missed out on last week's project. 2 new people are regularly doing a different project. So 3 was definitely like the maximum number I could handle today for a first sort of session back. But yeah, it was good to have that combo just to learn from. Like the girl from Coburg was asking about how to draft patterns, and I'm just like, honestly, I'm kind of self-taught. Like I don't know how to properly draw up patterns from scratch kind of thing, but like I've sewn enough projects where pattern pieces are usually similar shapes, or you can pick up a pattern and sort of understand what to do without having to read the instructions. So people that I had, they were very different to teach, so it was good to have a small group just to expand my teaching experience in that area before I sort of have packed out classes, because there's definitely moments where I felt like fake it till you make it, and let's just pray their projects turn out well. So they got, and Coburg girl also brought, which I thought was cool, she brought some op shop finds that she wanted to cut up and use the fabric for. One was like a velveteen sort of dress, which is perfectly fine for bucket hats. The other was a chiffon dress, and I was mostly thinking about like layering them together. The velveteen might sort of be okay enough structure to not have it just sitting flat, but I definitely forgot how hard it is to sew chiffon, especially for a beginner. So next time that ever happens, I'm gonna just say hard no. Don't even try chiffon unless you're an advanced beginner, that kind of thing. But she had a good attitude about it. So yeah, she was still pretty persistent, and I helped her with the unpicking to avoid her spirit dying as well. Quick update. I've had dinner. I'm going to smash out 13 plain pet bandanas for Yaz's workshop tomorrow. Nothing like putting things off to the last minute, but finish those off hopefully in an hour or 2, and I'll drop them off to her place, maybe go hang out for a bit. So busy day. just had a call back from the pet show. I just installed like a magnet phone holder in the new car, so usually all the thoughts come out when I'm driving, so it's good to kind of capture them as well. Yeah, had a call back from the pet show. She seems really lovely and nice, which is fine and dandy. However, I actually looked at the information she sent through, and the pet show is two days in the first weekend of March, 2 full days. They offer like, it's an indoor space, white panel walls, whatever, lighting, PowerPoint, carpet, which is nice, but like not necessary, not a defining factor. It's meant to be for all kinds of pets. There's a main area for dogs and cats, and then a smaller area for smaller animals. But yeah, looking at the price list, the cheapest option, which is 2 by 2 meters, so I could make it work. I just wouldn't have that display table in my normal setup, and I'd use all 3 walls kind of thing, so it could work. But it's freaking $1,400. I'm a lot more apprehensive. Do I put it off for this year? Do I risk it and just give it a go? Oakley dokley. I think today's the day. I did my hair, did some makeup, so I'm looking presentable. I'm going to try to approach at least 1, if not 2 places for wholesale. I'm getting quite nervous, so I think I'm going to try ChatGPT and just ask, write me a script for approaching a business for wholesale, just so I don't forget some obvious things they might ask, and just need to rip off the band-aid. I'm definitely a person where I need to have some sort of script. I don't have to follow it word by word, but just an idea of what I'm saying before I go into that situation and thinking about it. I had to do the same for calling parents at school, and I ended up being supernatural and calling parents about all sorts of behavioural issues and turning it into a quite pleasant conversation. So just got to rip off the band-aid and see how we go. 12:15, I'm finally going to do it. I just need to drop off some business cards at the studio, since Yaz is doing a Who Let the Dogs Out theme. So some of the parents from the art workshop might want to look into what I sell, so that's a good lead as well. So I'm going to try 2 places. One that I've seen in the dog parks, and one that we used to take Maisie for doggy daycare, but a different branch. And trying to psych myself up for that, and just thinking of, things that people have told me in the past, like the worst answer you can get is no, or all they can say is no, something like that. I'm bringing Maisie with me to kind of distract from, or be like a conversation starter as well. I brought some samples of each size, whole pack of business cards. And what is this? A lead. I'll hopefully show them what I make in person. Then Maisie will show off the product in real life, and they'll have all my contact details on the business card. ChatGPT was pretty helpful with the script, so I've got that in sort of dot points on my keep notes, but we'll see if I even remember in the moment. So inside I'm like, but we just need to try it, and the more we do it, the more natural it will feel. And yeah, I think my goal is try to get into at least 1 place in like a consignment wholesale sort of capacity. Just get my foot in the door, and then less feeling like I'm schlepping at the markets, not fully relying on markets. That'll be good. Okay, so I just dropped off the business cards, I think in the last half an hour of Yaz's workshop. The kids are so funny, so it's put me in a good mood. So that's definitely good timing to go in with this sort of like excited energy mood to approach some businesses. So I was thinking of adding like a throwaway one, but I think I'll be okay. So I'll try Wolfer's World and Kip Moorabbin. Yeah, we'll see how we go. So going in to talk to Kip, it was so much better than I expected. They were like wrapping up a team meeting, So I think it was the manager came out and spoke to me, and it was actually quite easy to talk to. And I think that worked better than Woofers World because they've got 2 retail shelves and they're pretty much a quarter stocked or even 1/8 stocked each. So there's definitely a need for having pet stuff, and this time I remembered to introduce my name and just a little bit about my business. So I mentioned that I've been doing markets for 6 months, and I mentioned what other things I make, and he was actually quite interested, and he was sort of inspecting the lead that I was wearing, and I showed him the matching scrunchie. So yeah, definitely hit all the talking points in a natural way as well. He did ask about personalized names, so I think that's definitely something I need to look into. The last time I looked into it, I was looking at like industrial 10, 12, 15 color machines, but if I keep it simple, like just white or black thread, and then to make it either pop a bit more, put it on a white panel or a black panel, and they can velcro it onto the collar or their bandana, or just straight onto the bandana. That might be an option. Gave him my business card, mentioned that the stuff is listed on the website so you can have a closer look, and I guess you can just get an indication of pricing there as well. And then the whole team came out and they all met Maisie, so it was definitely more of a personable sort of meet and greet. So definitely feel a lot better about that sort of interaction and that sort of situation they've got. I think there's more of a symbiotic relationship we could work out there. So I think that was it. I think, yeah, it was just super lovely. Went better than I expected. I wasn't expecting anyone to sort of organise something on the spot, but he definitely looked very, very interested. He spent some time saying hello to Maisie, so that was super sweet. He did ask about if I applied or if I've gone to any pet shows or festivals, which I thought was interesting. So I was just like, yeah, I've looked into it. I think I need more stock, or to scale up more stock before I go through with that. So that was an interesting question. I feel relieved that I've approached 2 places, and relieved that at least one of those interactions actually went way better than I expected, or as good as I hoped, really. So maybe I'll hear back. If not, I'll try maybe 1 or 2 other places next week, sort of keep finding leads. Maybe I'll just keep a bag, or keep some samples in my car with my business cards, and as I go around the city or go around Melbourne just doing markets or doing errands, maybe I can drop into local vets, doggy daycares, that sort of thing. So just sort of do it on the way. But very happy with how that went. Maisie, come here. And Maisie was very happy meeting new people. Aren't you, Maisie? You charm all the new people. So, back home, still feeling quite giddy, just replaying that interaction over again. I think even if it doesn't work out, I definitely feel encouraged that outside of the market scene, people still seem interested. So I've also been sort of thinking about those pet show and pet like Dog Lovers Festival applications for this year as well. So I've heard back from both. About quotes for like stall fees, and part of me is like take all the opportunities, give everything a go kind of thing. But then also part of me is like, why don't we wait, and instead of doing things to just break even to get your name out there, why don't we give it a full year to build up more stock and then make a really good impression when we eventually do pet shows or Dog Lovers Festival. Because currently market stalls, they're about 50 for really local ones, but on average 100, 140 at the most, that the ones that I go for. Some go for even more than that, I think, but I think they're like more public holiday ones. So 100, 140 is the average for a 1-day market stall fee. So I'm thinking if I sell on average like 14 orders one day, maybe I need like the amount of traffic that comes through for $100, $140 market, and this is the stock I'm bringing. Maybe I need to scale up the amount of stock that I have ready for those pet shows or Dog Lovers Festival by 10 as well. I'll give myself some leeway because compared to other stalls, I already bring quite a lot. So even if I bring 5 times as much and not 10 times as much, that might be enough as well. The only thing is those sort of festivals, they're 2 days. So I don't want to, for example, sell out completely or like be really low on stock on quite a lot of areas the first day, because then that's not going to look so great for the second day. So I'm thinking pet show, I've only got a month until that runs, and I'm still working on trying to make more stock to put into the Mon bulk shop so I don't take away from my market stuff. So I think pet show, I'll shelf that for now for this year. Dog Lovers Festival, that's in October. That one is $1,700 with the early bird special for the smallest stall fee, stall size as well, 2 by 2 meters. I'm just feeling like to get the most out of that stall fee, why don't I give myself a bit more time? I know a year sounds like a long time, and I'm kind of like, it's in October, that's like 9 months away. Surely I'll be able to make plenty of stock by then, but I kind of don't want to put that pressure on myself as well. Like I'm already getting quite busy this week and school hasn't even started. So I'm kind of needing to do like 2 days a week to bring in enough income. So trying to balance everything, I think that'll be the tricky part. So if I plan to apply for those shows next year, then I've got 1.5 to 2 years almost to fine tune my product as well. Like my labels, I think I want to change them from like the iron-on transfer paper that I do myself to ordering them sort of screen printed on, so there's less sort of risk of the heat transfer paper peeling off. So it would be nice to fine tune those little areas where it might take away from the quality of the product before I go into like the big leagues. I think part of me is a bit sad that I'm not, ramping it up in that aspect, but long-term me is thinking that's pretty smart. Like you don't want to go in it guns blazing, but also not knowing what you're really doing and it failing. And also, even if I do just break even at both events, that's still 2 whole weekends or 2 full day weekends, and it's a different display setup, so I'd have to spend time figuring out a layout for that, how I want to maximize on the space. So if I wait till I have enough stock to fill it, then I'll get more reward for spending that time creating custom display stands as well. Bit sad, but good things come to those that wait. That's the saying. That being said, there's also, I think, a local Casey pet doggy day out kind of thing. So fingers crossed that might be a little more affordable than the expos. So that might be like a little get my foot in the door in kind of a dedicated pet festival atmosphere and see how that goes first. And then I might be able to see like how much stock I need to bring for those days as well. So this year, I think James and I will go to the expos as patrons. We'll buy a ticket and just check it out. And then that's kind of like a low risk way to see what it's like. We've never been to one, so it's probably a bit silly to go with such a big investment. It's probably silly to go in blind. So we'll check them out, see what the vibe is, see how busy the stalls are, like how much people are actually buying as well. So I'm not sure if people go there to browse, that sort of thing. So check out the vibe, see what other stall holders there are, like if people have many like handmade small businesses, that sort of thing, and see how much stock people are bringing as well. I think that's the safer bet, and slow and steady wins the race, unfortunately. So I was going to go back to sewing, which I still am, but since it's already Wednesday, I was going to finish off the last custom order I've still got on my plate, which turns out I've already got one made. So this one, it was a couple, I think they bought a size medium and they weren't too sure if it was going to be too long for their Maltese Shih Tzu. So I said, if it doesn't fit, happy to swap or do like a custom length kind of thing, because he's maybe like 15 or 20 minutes away from me. So he said he was happy to just come swap them over or pick them up. So luckily I've got one made that definitely fits a Maltese Shih Tzu with the measurements he gave me. And he also wanted a thinner width. That actually works out well. And I didn't get to show this yet, but this one was pretty cute. This one was another custom order because I've got the burger print in the sort of collar bandanas, so the ones where the collar slips through like a casing, but she was really keen on this fabric in a tie style, so finally got around to making that up for her, and yeah, super cute. Sent her a photo and the 2 market times and dates that I'm doing this week, and the option of the other markets that I'll do in Feb. She seemed really happy. It's kind of funny, I've been getting a couple of custom orders every 1 or 2 weeks. Definitely something that builds over time and kind of sneaks up on you. It is very cute. So I think I'll go back to sewing just more stock of what I already have, just trying to sew more bandanas and collars. They're ready in time for Monbulk, and I won't have too much stock missing from markets as well. I think, yeah, I'm feeling a bit like all over the place today. I slept in really late. I don't usually do that. So spoke to or approached those 2 businesses. So just doing something routine, something where I don't have to think too much and just do. I think they'll be nice and sort of grounding for the rest of the afternoon, and then we'll do some sort of steak dinner with our friends. So pretty good day. Just some car thought. I had a customer just pick up a collar that he wanted to swap the size of. He came by my house, and turns out he owns a dog treat business as well. So we're emailing back and forth about what Maisie would like. Super nice. Didn't expect too much, like too long of a chat, but he did actually ask could I do custom branding on the collars, and then like could he get his company's logo all along the collar. And to be honest, I kind of like froze, because I was thinking like, oh, I guess, like, and then I sort of like word vomited how I did the process, and then sort of like the second guessing, like what if it's not good enough. I didn't say that part, but it's definitely thinking it. It's weird how yesterday I was nervous approaching businesses to get my stuff out there, but then when opportunities do come a-knocking, I kind of just freeze, or I have that imposter syndrome sort of feeling. Definitely something to watch out for in terms of trying not to undersell myself as a small business. Although for his company, I could probably do like, there's leather logo branding, and he could just share his. He said, what if I send like a high resolution photo of his logo, and then could I put that on collars? Oh my god, it's raining. I'm driving to go for a run right now. Don't even have a rain jacket. Maybe I'll send him a follow-up email and just chat about what the options are if he's interested. Maybe talk about pricing. I don't even have to make the logos myself, like the labels myself. I could just order the labels and stick them onto my collars. How do you guys deal with imposter syndrome? Or do you even feel imposter syndrome? I've definitely worked with people that have talked about it before, and I looked up to them, so it was nice to see that they felt the same, or they go through the same feelings. What the heck? Okay, so just got back from the Twilight Market with Allure at Frankston. They seem like nice organisers. There was lots of sort of traffic at the start, so I didn't think there was like an advertising issue. People seemed like they were coming specifically for the market. But it was either like the January sort of dead zone, at least for what I sell, because there was people looking, like quite a few people looking, but like first hour, 2 hours, I didn't sell anything until I sold a scrunchie. So, and then eventually I sold maybe definitely a collar, no bandanas, 2 more scrunchies, and I think a snap pouch as well. Bandanas are not, people are just not interested in bandanas this year, or at least the start of this year. Don't know if it's mostly because it's January or because Twilight markets aren't doing so well for my product, but I think just made the stall feedback or didn't even make the stall feedback. Yeah, that was definitely one of my worst markets in a long time. Glad to be going back to St Kilda on Sunday, just because I'm pretty sure I'll make at least a profit there. So also glad I'm having tomorrow off. Definitely don't want to do that again. Hello. It is later this Saturday. First Saturday that I've had off when doing markets in a while. So kind of feels like a whole day of market prep without the stress, which is quite relaxing. Definitely going to spend some time. I've got a whole bunch of collars that I've clipped at markets that I kind of just need to sew up now because I ran out of clips. This pot I got, it's kind of cute. I got this pot because the person who made it, she had like a ceramics, jewelry and pottery kind of store, and she wanted one of my bandanas, and then she offered like, how about we do a swap? Yeah, I was going to use it for like plants and stuff, but it actually works well for, it's got a wide opening. Normally I don't have fabric in it. That's just all the scraps at the market yesterday. Normally I have all my clips in there and it's just easy to grab. So pretty cool. I can't believe I spent, it feels like probably 2 days worth, probably even more, of editing my videos over the last 3 or 4 days. So I think I've got like a system or a routine in place where it's not something I'm going to put off for weeks and then it'll take me days to edit it. So I think I'll be able to get videos out more regularly, and it's actually more enjoyable now editing on my actual desktop widescreen. Before I was just doing it on my laptop, and obviously you can only see so much of the timeline on a small 13-inch laptop screen. So that's fun. It is a beautiful day out, so I'm not going to spend the whole day sewing or just being inside the house. I think I'll definitely do some gardening. Lawns are due for a mow, and then we'll have a barbecue at our friend's place because it's their turn to host friends dinner. I've coined the term. If you start using it, then my friends can't make fun of me for using the word frinner. Hello, happy Monday. Still need to unpack the car, but Sunday at St Kilda Market, third time is the charm. It was not too hot. Wind was within a reasonable range for next to a beach. There was no rain. Surprisingly, there was actually pretty decent foot traffic for Australia Day, so that worked out well. Lots of sort of people from interstate or some from other countries. I met a couple from Israel. I think they bought a bandana in the end. Definitely back to pre-Christmas numbers, so that's really encouraging. So St Kilda is 10 to 5, pretty long day, especially being our first full time there, not having to pack up early for once. In the last hour, I'm not sure if I made anything, so I might see how it goes a few more times in that last hour, but if I consistently don't make any sales, I might just pack up early. But overall, I made 20 sales yesterday, much better than the 4 sales I made at Frankston. So I don't know if that's twilight markets or if it was just the area, or also January being a super quiet period for all sorts of business owners. So I think I'll try twilight markets again in the future. Definitely the Christmas ones. We'll see about the winter ones. Winter could be pretty grim as well. Filmed a little clip as well. The roof rack situation, I quickly just sewed up a rectangle of, I've got some waterproof fabric that's like actually for nappies, but it's stretchy, so it's easy to put on, doesn't add too much weight as well. And I just added some Velcro on the bottom to sort of enclose it, which was actually a really good idea because even though I started putting sandwich clips on all my bandanas in groups, sometimes when I'd take off the cover, there'd be like a whole group of bandanas still clipped together, but off the rod. So sandwich clips, clipping down everything, putting a cover on the whole stand, way easier. No flapping in the wind when I'm driving. I've driven on the freeway over 100 kilometers an hour, so very, very stress-free now. Massive relief. So being Monday, I'm going to wrap up the video for the week here. Thanks for watching. If you want to keep watching my journey of exploring running a small business or my little market adventures or even sewing workshops, that's ramping up as well. Feel free to subscribe. I've got my Instagram where I post a bit more regularly, and see you later.